Now, so what happened is that now we're going to set the stage right now. Okay, look at your notes again. So what have we learned? That Africa did not have just the name Africa, is that right? It had several names. So that's really critical. We understand that. We become familiar with those terms. And I'll tell you, so then what? So then we sit on a seat on an airplane, we begin to open up a discussion, and we begin to dialogue with them. Now, Rabbi, why would you even concern them? Like, who really cares about this? Well, in the last days is a prophecy, and we're seeing the prophecy being fulfilled. In Deuteronomy 30, verses 1 through 6, God said he's going to regather and ingather those who he has scattered to the nations. The Bible says he's going to bring them back to the land, making an aliyah to the land, and they're going to have a greater heritage in the land. Isn't that right? Amen? All right, moving on. Let's speak. And when people say that color doesn't matter to them, but it matters to someone who is in inner city, who has went through a struggle, who every time they walked in a place, they were the isolated people, and etc. We know that, amen? And so you have to identify with the culture. You have to love the culture. You have to have a passion for the culture. You have to become knowledgeable of what's going on. Because sometimes the worst fight I find within the black culture is the black culture. They all fight amongst each other. Amen? So a lot of times we've just got to have them understand that God has a covenant promise for these people. Mm-hmm. And their covenant promise, even though part of the curse that they'll be a curse, that they were never cursed people, is that they would forget their roots and where they came from. So when we were in Barbados, I asked the whole crowd, the large crowd there, I asked them a question. I said, how many of you know Moses? And they all raised their hand. I said, so I'm going to ask you a question. If I asked you this, when you envision this, okay, tell me what color skin he has. Okay, you can see the pin drop in the place in here. What do you think they said? White. And I said, well, that's interesting. I said, if I ask you the name Joseph in the Bible, what color skin would you say? Now, this is an all-black culture. This is an all-black community. Okay? What do you think they said? White. Okay? If I asked them, who enslaved you in Africa, who do you think they said? Wow. I told them, you flunked every exam. So write this up. The next thing I tell the culture is, of the 12 tribes of Israel, how many are black? 8. 8 of the 12 tribes, so 2/3 of the tribes are black. So isn't it interesting? I asked them, how is it that if 2/3 of all of the 12 tribes of Israel are black, when I ask you about any of the people, you say they're white? Aha! Going back to, now walk with me, the third curse, again, that you would what? Forget your roots, read to me and what? And where you came from. And part of the reason why, no offense, part of the reason why black churches don't teach this is because they don't want to get in the struggle either. They don't want to make it, quote unquote, racially motivated. People, this has nothing to do with racially oriented. I'm going to say that again. This has nothing to do with being racially oriented. This is biblical. Amen. I'm going to repeat that. This is biblical. Amen. These are biblical people.
You heard that, man. It's always been from Egypt, even up until now, to the other Egypt. Black on black crime. When was the last time you sat down and spiritually took the phrase, carry the cross, and actually put yourself in the shoes of these people and carry the burden, their oppression, the joblessness, the discrimination and segregation that they have been going through as far as history and the starting of the United States?